graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
World Championship Wrestling. While the company later on destroyed itself due to terrible business decisions, during its heyday, it was the best thing to watch on prime time. With Nitro on Monday nights, WCW was dominating the wrestling world, even beating its rival, the World Wrestling Federation, aka the WWF, now WWE. Thanks to a very strong roster of high-profile superstars like Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, Ric Flair, Sting, Goldberg, Diamond Dallas Page, cruiserweights such as Eddie Guerrero, Chris Jericho, and many more, and a stable that shook the wrestling world and pop culture, the nWo, the New World Order. So with WCW's huge success, naturally we would see video games based on the promotion. In 1997, publisher THQ acquired the WCW license. They would then bring us two of the best wrestling games of all time, WCW vs nWo World Tour and WCW nWo Revenge for the Nintendo 64, both developed by AKI Corporation, now named Sin Sophia. Now, what about the Nintendo 64's rival system, the PlayStation? Well, they also released WCW vs. the World, which was developed by AKI as well, but they also released two more WCW games for the console. Unfortunately, they didn't come close to the quality of the AKI N64 classics. In fact, they weren't even good games at all! WCW fans who were also PlayStation fans didn't just get the short end of the stick, no. They got the tiny end of the stick. Yes, people, they were royally screwed. So, what's all the fuss about? What I'm trying to say here is that PlayStation got two of the worst wrestling games of all time. Polar opposites of World Tour and Revenge. And the first of the two games we're going to take a look at is WCW Nitro. And man, what a disappointment this game was. It's like THQ literally scammed their fans by forcing them to buy another expensive video game console just to play the better games. So how the hell did they fuck this up so badly? Well, I'm about to show you. This game was developed by Inland Productions, so that's already a bad sign. Honestly, I think a more appropriate name would be Indie Ass Productions, because that's how badly PlayStation fans were screwed. The intro is fucking awesome. It's a montage of classic WCW moments featuring the nWo, Sting, Cruiserweights, and more. And man, do I miss the Monday Night Wars from the 90s. Wrestling just isn't the same without fierce competition. So here we are at the title screen, featuring Mean Gene Okerlund announcing.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Gene Okerlund, and I'd like to welcome you to WCW Nitro.
And by the way, the music here switches between the Nitro theme and the nWo theme. Anyway, here are the options menu, and I'm setting the difficulty to easy. Why? You'll see in a moment. You get a pretty good selection of modes here. Tournament, which is a series of one-on-one matches. Exhibition, which is your standard one-on-one match against the computer. 2-player, single-player tag team, and 2-player tag team. Now imagine playing this god-awful game with your friends. You're practically torturing them. In fact, I don't think they'd want to be friends with you anymore after this. The roster is excellent. Now at first it may seem like it's very small, but there are a lot of more wrestlers to unlock, all of which can be done through a cheat code. I'll show you that later on. But check this out. Each wrestler has their own promo or rants.
You know, brother, you think you got what it takes to beat Hollywood Hogan? Why don't you climb in the ring and try out the largest arms in the world? Hollywood style. You want to wrestle the Nature Boy Ric Flair, you gotta be able to walk that aisle and style and profile. Woo! Ooh, yeah! Watch the flying elbow drop off the top rope. Not only beat people 1, 2, 3, but I hurt them real bad. This is Booker T from Harlem Heat, hardcore OG brother from 110th Street. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
Some of these rants are pretty funny though.
You really think you're ready for the Stinger? You really think you're ready for the Scorpion Deathlock? You think you're ready for a fatal encounter?
You're damn right I'm ready! I'm ready to fight! I'm ready to win! Wait, what the hell am I doing?
Hey there! How'd you like to get power bombed? Come on, pick me. I'm begging you, pick me. Please pick me.
Was he drunk when he did this?
Yo, Chico,
Yo.
you selected Scott Hall? Get ready for a wild ride on the outside.
Is that how it goes? And here's something cool. Eddie Guerrero's rant is in both English and Spanish.
You better be ready to wrestle, because you know, when you're getting in the ring with Eddie Guerrero, it's going to be high-flying and exciting. Alístense, porque ustedes saben, cuando entran al ring con Eddie Guerrero, les voy a dar lo mejor de lo que yo tengo.
Now I know what you're thinking. How could this game be so bad with all that cool stuff? Well, what you just saw was the game's presentation. And trust me, that's the only positive thing I can say about this game. After that, it's all downhill from here. I gotta tell you, when I started playing, I was like, oh my god, holy shit, this is bad. These are by far the worst controls I have ever experienced in any wrestling game. Mind you, I have played and reviewed Kinnikuman Dirty Challenger on the Super Famicom. I can safely say that these controls are the worst. Hands down. There is no argument to be made, no discussion, no counter arguments, nothing. This is not an opinion, it is a fact. I mean, my god! This is borderline unplayable. The thing that made the AKI Wrestling games on the N64 so great was the intuitive controls. This game, however, is nothing like that. So what exactly is wrong with it? Oh boy, oh man, oh my god, where do I begin? Well, first of all, the characters are so stiff when they move. It's like watching the Special Olympics with two disabled men who are attempting to wrestle each other. Actually, no, I take that back. Even the Special Olympics are more exciting than this. I mean, look at them. What the fuck is wrong with them? Like, were they in the middle of taking a shit before the match started? You know, maybe they actually were taking a shit, and when the bell rang, they immediately ran to the ring, and now they got shit stuck up their ass. This isn't just bad, this is sad. And I mean sad with an exclamation mark. Now you're probably thinking, well, what about the grappling system? How does that work? Well, see the health meters on top? They look pretty generic, don't they? They don't tell you when the right time is to do your special taunt or your finisher, nothing like that. And that's because it is a generic health meter. Once you or your opponent lose health completely, there is no KO. You need to make them pin or submit. And the former is a lot easier to do. So, how do you do suplexes, power bombs, pile drivers, and even your signature finishers? well, guess what? You have to use combos! Yeah, that's right, I said it! Combos! Just like a fighting game. Just like Tekken and Virtua Fighter. But here's the problem. This is not a fighting game. This is a wrestling game with piss-poor fighter-like controls. There is no standard rounds or KOs when you or your opponent lose health. To make matters worse, it's very hard to pull these combos off. Like seriously, what the hell kind of game is this? What were these people thinking? And you want to know what the cherry on top is? This game has no move list. No move list whatsoever. Not in the manual, not when you pause. So unless you have internet to look up game facts or something, you're screwed. You're royally fucked. Now, imagine this. This is a game from 1998. 1998 was a time when internet was just starting to enter households. And not many people at the time had it. And let's say you were one of those people who didn't have internet. And you have this game. So how are you going to play it? Exactly, you're fucked. The other option is to buy a booklet or a strategy guide for this game. And that's if it exists, because I looked online and I can't find it anywhere. Now, why the fuck would you make a game like this? This game is unplayable. What the fuck were you thinking, THQ? Why would you release a game like this? Especially when the Nintendo 64 has a far better wrestling game. Why? Just why? Sorry guys, I just had to get that off my chest. The thing I hate the most about this game is the god-awful camera. I hate how it goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and waving around. It makes me feel fucking dizzy. It's like the Cloverfield of wrestling games. Imagine somebody actually broadcasting a wrestling match like that. It's the match of the century, folks! These two men are staring each other down! They're staring each other, they're ready to fight! It's gonna be an epic match! It's gonna be a slobber knocker! This match is gonna be insane! This match is gonna be crazy! I tried playing tournament mode, but I gave up after the third match. This was just too much torture. The graphics for the most part are fine. I mean, it's what you'd expect from a late 90s wrestling game on the PlayStation. I will say this though, that looks nothing like Eddie Guerrero. In fact, I'd say he looks more like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat in this game, especially with that red bandana. I mean, come on, you're gonna give him 2 rants in 2 different languages only to give him the worst looking character model in this game? The problem here is that the animation is terrible. Like I said earlier, they move so slow and stiff, and they look like they got something stuck up their ass. Possibly shit. This game features commentary from Tony Schiavone and Bobby the Brain Heenan, which for the time was pretty cool. The game outputs at a resolution of 240p, like most PlayStation games at the time, with a frame rate of 30 frames per second. Why am I pointing that out? You'll see why later. However, during matches where there are more than 2 characters in the ring, the frame rate drops significantly, which is not good at all. So anyway, in the title screen, you can enter a cheat code to unlock more characters, and once you enter the code, this happens. Jesus fucking Christ, that scared me! And now your roster is much larger than before. You've got wrestlers like Rey Mysterio Jr., Chris Jericho, Disco Inferno, Ultimo Dragon, Conan, Old School Hulk Hogan, Old School Macho Man, Old School Sting, hell, even announcers like Tony Schiavone, Mean Gene Okerlund, and Bobby the Brain Heenan are playable characters. Sadly though, none of them have rants. But check this out. You have all these weird fictional characters and non-wrestlers. I mean, why the hell would THQ staff and developers put themselves in the game? Like, were they that desperate for attention? You also have Santa Claus, Frankenstein, an alien, a ghost, a snowman, a bear, a dinosaur, and anime? Oh, I get it. Anime. You know, because she looks like an anime character. Anime. Kill me. So anyway, let's pick anime and have her go up against the dinosaur. I'm playing as an anime character, fighting a dinosaur in a WCW game. A shitty WCW game. Yeah. This is WCW Nitro in a nutshell. Fuck this game. There are also other cheat codes like Big Head and Hidden Rings. Hey, I got an idea. How about a cheat code to unlock the good version of this game? And if you thought the pain was over, THQ and Indie Ass Production released a sequel, WCW nWo Thunder. This was the end of the peak years for WCW. Once again, THQ delivers an awesome intro, and the music is even better here. This game is better than Nitro, but only remotely. It's still the same shitty wrestling game. Still broken, still has those stupid combos that don't work, still has that really annoying camera that makes you stick, and it's still not very fun. The first big difference here is that the game runs at a smoother 60 frames per second instead of the 30 frames per second in the previous game. Resolution is still in 240p of course. But even with that smoother frame rate, a polished turd is still a turd. Wait a minute. Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum? What are they doing in Long Island? However, during matches with 3 or 4 characters on the screen at once, the frame rate drops to 30. The other change is that you can use weapons from outside the ring. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Beating up your opponent with a weapon is kind of fun here, but after that, the game goes back to shit. I love how this game has short videos of the wrestlers before the match starts. By the way, don't you just love Bret Hart's forced smile? Man, he was really miserable during his WCW days. This game has even more modes than before. Instead of just tournament mode, you have World Heavyweight, US Heavyweight, and Television title modes. Exhibition and Tag Team are back as well, but you also have Battle Royal and Cage Match. But even the addition of a cage match won't make this game more fun. Also, for some reason the arena goes completely dark during cage matches. I'm guessing they couldn't render the crowd in the arena due to hardware limitations? The roster is even bigger than the last game, and just like Nitro, the rants are here as well.
So you want to step in the ring with the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be? Step in the ring with the greatest technical wrestler in the history of the WCW.
If you're a true Jerichoholic and you pick me, I promise you'll never, ever lose this game again.
And they did not disappoint.
This is the Stinger, and I'm in the mood for handing out more than just one Stinger death drop.
Oh come on Sting, you were so energetic in the last game, what happened here?
Hey, wait a second. I know what you're thinking. You want to be me like everybody else. Forget about it. You don't have the mental skills or the dexterity. Go on, go pick somebody else. Pick Hogan or some. Don't pick me. Move. Go. Go.
Hey, fuck you, Kevin Nash.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, I should probably leave him alone.
Hey man,
Hey, man.
here's Alex Wright, the German. If you wanna know what the Germans are about, pick me, and you're gonna have a hell of a victory. I promise!
What?
I am Ultimo Dragon. 今からゲームやる人。
You know, it would be nice if they put subtitles for guys who didn't speak English. Just saying. No comment whatsoever. But my favorite rant of them all has to be Roddy Piper's rant.
Pick me! What's wrong with you? I heard Nash. Nash said don't pick me. Fine, because I can smash Nash. Pick Hogan? Put him to sleep 3 times. Pick me. You know why? Because everybody's got to pay the piper.
Rest in peace, man. I miss you. And just like Nitro, you have a code to unlock more wrestlers. And just like Nitro, none of the hidden characters have rants. And there are more ridiculous hidden characters. A horse versus a cow in a WCW ring. This match has been endorsed by the World Wildlife Fund. So yeah, that was WCW Nitro and WCW nWo Thunder for the PlayStation. But you want to know the stupidest thing about all this? They ported WCW Nitro to the Nintendo 64 and PC! Well, actually it's a port of WCW nWo Thunder, just renamed to Nitro. But still, what's the fucking point of porting Nitro to the N64 when there are far superior wrestling games? Holy fucking shit, what in God's name was THQ thinking? Well, actually, it was because WCW's deal with THQ was expiring and they were about to sign a deal with the WWF later that year, starting with WrestleMania 2000 on the N64. So they rushed out a game just before all that happened. Yeah. WCW Nitro and WCW nWo Thunder were not just absolutely terrible wrestling games. They were scams by THQ. Nintendo 64 gamers were enjoying far better wrestling games while PlayStation gamers were suffering. So whatever you do, do not buy these games. Do not! That is my warning to you. Do not buy these wrestling games. If you absolutely need to buy good wrestling games, get WWF SmackDown and SmackDown 2 Know Your Role. These are far more enjoyable. These are actually fun wrestling games. Please pick these up if you want PS1 wrestling games. Or you could import Fire Pro Wrestling G. As for these two, just throw them in the trash. I'm Allie-RX, and that's all I got to say about that. One last thing. As of this past November, WCW vs. nWo World Tour is officially 20 years old. 20 years and still one of the best wrestling games ever made. I enjoy this a lot more than most of the recent WWE 2K games. Check out my review of this game from the AKI Pro Wrestling 64 series that I did several years ago. If you like this video and want to see more, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell to get immediately notified on the latest videos. If you like my content and want to support me, you can donate to my Patreon for just $1 a month. Go to patreon.com/Allie-RX. If you prefer a one-time donation, you can donate to my PayPal at paypal.me/Allie-RX. There, you can donate any amount, even a penny. Links are in the description.